Archangel Michael says, "My precious child, do not look away now, because the final moments of this message carry something meant just for you. The last half-minute holds a gift that could transform your heart and your life forever. Stay with me until the very end, for within those closing seconds, the blessings of heaven are waiting to be placed into your hands." There is a storm in the sky that speaks not of anger, but of a fierce love that refuses to let go. The message that flashes before your eyes is not a threat, but a cry from the heavens, a final plea wrapped in the thunder of divine urgency. The words may sound like warning, but underneath them is a love that has waited, a love that has been patient far beyond what is humanly possible, a love that refuses to abandon you even when you feel far from it. This is not wrath, this is rescue. Type 999 if you trust Jesus with all your heart. God has been reaching for you since the moment you drew breath, and even before that, He knew your name, the sound of your laughter, and the shape of your soul. He has been watching the roads you've walked, some bright, some broken, some so heavy with sorrow they bent your knees. He has seen the moments you doubted Him, the nights you stayed silent in your prayers, the days you walked away thinking He no longer heard you. But still, He stood close. Still, He waited. Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, came not for the perfect, but for the wounded. He didn't gather those who had it all together. He sat with the ones who had nothing left, with the ones who felt shame in their bones, who thought they were too far gone, too broken to be held by holiness. His hands, scarred by the cross, are open still. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you believe God answers prayers. There is a sorrow in heaven when one of God's children forgets their worth. Not because they have failed, but because they have not yet seen how deeply they are loved. The heavens do not rage in vengeance. They tremble with longing. Archangel Michael does not appear to condemn, but to awaken, to remind you that the battle around you is real, and your soul is precious beyond all gold or glory. You may have heard the lie that you are beyond saving. You may have believed the silence you felt meant God had turned His face away. But nothing could be further from the truth. There are moments in every life when it feels like the darkness is louder than the light, when you cannot feel the arms of God around you, when the world seems sharper than your hope. But God never leaves. He has never left you. Not even once. Not even when you cursed His name. Not even when you walked the other way. Not even when you gave up on Him, because He never gave up on you. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. The voice of heaven may seem loud now, but it is not here to frighten you. It is here to rattle the chains off your heart. It is here to wake you from the sleep of despair. It is here to speak, not just to your mind, but to your spirit, the part of you that knows there is more, that has always known there is more, even when everything else felt numb. Type 1111 if you agree. You were created with a purpose that no one else can carry. Your story is not an accident. Your tears have not gone unnoticed. Every cry, every whisper into the void, every hidden ache has been held in the heart of God. He is not asking you to be perfect. He is only asking you to come. Not to run, not to hide, but to simply turn back toward the light. Jesus is not a distant figure in history. He is the shepherd who searches for the one lost sheep. He is the friend who walks into your mess without judgment. He is the healer who kneels beside the bleeding, the broken, the weary, and calls them beloved. His voice is not raised in rage. It is raised in passion, in grief for what he sees you carrying, in love for what he knows you are capable of becoming if only you would let him in. There is a reason your heart beats still. There is a reason this message has reached you now. Not because you are at the end, but because this is where your story begins again. The heavens are not angry in the way humans are angry. Their fury is not about punishment, but about the fierce urgency to see you saved, healed, restored. The kind of anger that refuses to lose you. The kind that moves mountains and parts seas and tears veils, just to reach your side. So come back, child of God. Not out of fear, but out of love. Not because of wrath, but because of mercy. The time is now, not because God is tired of you, but because he wants you to live fully, freely, and forever. The door is still open. The light is still on. And Jesus is still calling your name. Archangel Michael says, there are moments in life when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when your soul aches in ways no words can describe, and when you begin to wonder if anyone sees the quiet battles you fight each day. But even in those moments, especially in those moments, the eyes of heaven are upon you, not with judgment or disappointment, but with love so deep and personal that it reaches into the very center of your pain and begins to mend what has been torn. You are not invisible to God. You are not forgotten. From the breath you took this morning to the silent thoughts you held deep inside, every detail matters to him. There is nothing in your life too small to be seen by his eyes or too broken to be touched by his hands. The God who made the stars and holds galaxies in place is the same God who weeps when you weep and rejoices when you rise again, even if that rising is slow and trembling. The presence of Jesus is not reserved for the flawless. He walks with those who limp. He sits beside the one who feels unworthy. He whispers comfort to the hearts that have been bruised by life's sharp edges. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to fix yourself before coming to him. You only need to come, with your fears, your failures, your doubts, your fragile hope, and your weary heart. He can carry it all, and he longs to. Type Amen if you believe. You may have spent years believing that God was angry with you, that your mistakes had built a wall too high to climb. But the truth is that the cross of Christ did not come for perfect people. It came for the lost, the tired, the ones who feel like they've strayed too far, and the ones who've tried to do everything right but still feel empty. Jesus did not wait for people to deserve his love. He gave it freely, even knowing it would be rejected by many. And still, he offers it to you. The world might tell you that strength is found in being unshaken, but the kingdom of God sees strength in surrender, in admitting you cannot do it alone, in laying down the mask and letting His light reach the places you've hidden. It is not weakness to need healing. It is not shameful to need saving. In fact, it is in those moments of honesty, when you let the walls fall, that His love rushes in like a flood and fills you with a peace that goes deeper than pain. Archangel Michael is not a figure of condemnation. He is a warrior of God, sent to remind you that your life is part of a battle much greater than what you can see. The darkness that tries to isolate you, discourage you, and make you feel unloved, that is not from heaven. That is the enemy's attempt to steal your hope, but you were never meant to fight alone. The hosts of heaven stand for you, and the Spirit of God within you is stronger than anything that comes against you. You are not too far. You are not too late. You are not too broken. The love of God does not have an expiration date. It does not wear out. It does not grow tired. It is not dependent on your performance or your perfection. It simply is, and it always will be. So let yourself breathe again. Let your heart soften in the presence of this love. Let the grace of Jesus wash over your regrets, your questions, and the guilt you've carried like a stone in your chest. You are not being warned to run in fear, you are being called to return to the place where you are safe, seen, and held. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. There is healing waiting for you, not just in your body, but in your spirit. Healing for the places you've never spoken about, for the nights you cried alone, for the dreams you buried and the hopes you stopped believing in. Jesus knows all of it. He understands pain, betrayal, loss, and loneliness. He walked through them all and rose again with power not just to conquer death, but to lift you out of everything that tries to pull you down. This is not a message of threat. This is a message of love that refuses to stay silent while you suffer. This is a cry from the heavens, not because you're hated, but because you're loved beyond measure. If the ground beneath you feels unstable, let Him be the rock beneath your feet. If your hands feel too weak to keep holding on, let Him be the strength that holds you instead. There is no shame in needing God. There is only beauty in returning to the one who has never stopped waiting for you. Let His arms be the place you run to. Let His voice be the one you listen to. Let this be the moment when you turn your face back toward the light and know, deep in your heart, that you were never alone. Type 1818 to claim miracles. Archangel Michael says, "You may not feel it right now, but you are being pursued by a love so powerful, so unshakable, that not even the weight of your past can break it. God's love does not walk away when you fail. It does not withdraw when you fall into silence. It does not change when your faith feels weak or when your prayers come out as little more than whispers. His love has followed you through every valley, through every season of wandering, and even now, it surrounds you, calling you back to life. There have been days when you felt distant from God, when your heart felt numb and your spirit heavy, but what you didn't see was how he was right there beside you, holding you through the ache, protecting you from what you'll never even know came close. His presence is not dependent on your emotions. It is not driven away by your doubts. He stays. He holds steady when everything else shifts beneath your feet. He anchors you when the storms rise up around you. Sometimes, the pain we carry becomes so familiar that we begin to believe it's part of who we are. We stop hoping for change. We stop asking for healing. We begin to live like we're meant to stay stuck. But Jesus didn't die for you to survive life in pieces. He came so you could be whole, not perfect, not without struggles, but whole in your heart, whole in your soul, whole in the way you see yourself through his eyes. You are not your shame. You are not your failures. You are not what you've lost. You are his. The voice of Archangel Michael doesn't rise up from heaven to frighten you. It rises because the time is now, and heaven refuses to watch you walk deeper into a darkness you were never made for. It's not that you are being scolded. It's that you are being loved so fiercely that the angels themselves shout to reach you, to call you back before the pain digs in too deeply. It is not a scream of anger. It is the cry of a warrior fighting for your soul. There is a road that leads back to peace, and you don't need to build it on your own. You don't have to pretend to be strong. You don't need perfect faith or flawless words. You only need the courage to be honest, to admit that you need God, to say with all your heart, I want to come back. That's enough. That opens the door. That begins the healing. God does not wait with his arms crossed, demanding an apology. He runs to you the moment your heart turns toward him, and he covers you with compassion, not condemnation. You are not a problem God is trying to fix. You are a beloved child he longs to restore. His heart aches when you carry burdens alone. His heart breaks when you believe you're beyond his reach. But no darkness is too deep for his light. No wound is too raw for his healing. No distance is too far for his grace to cross. And even now, his Spirit is moving, softening the hard places in your soul, lifting the heaviness you've been carrying in silence, breathing hope into the places that feel dry and forgotten. You have not been abandoned. You are not being punished. You are being awakened to the truth that you were always meant for more than this struggle, more than this silence, more than this sorrow. The world may tell you to be self-sufficient, to bury your needs, to hide your pain, but Jesus invites you to bring every part of yourself into the light. There is no part of you that is too much for him. There is no sin too great, no fear too deep, no mistake too final. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. Even when you've shut your heart, even when you've turned your face away, he has stayed. His mercy doesn't have a limit. His love doesn't run dry. You don't have to fix yourself to be held. You don't have to explain every scar to be seen. You only have to come. And when you do, you'll find that he's already there, waiting, ready to welcome you back into the arms that never stopped reaching. There is grace for you today. Real grace. Gentle grace. The kind that meets you where you are and speaks to the pain you haven't even voiced. The kind that washes over your regrets and leaves behind peace. The kind that doesn't rush you but walks with you step by step, moment by moment, breath by breath, until you can feel again, believe again, and stand again. So let the anger you fear turn to understanding. Let the warning turn to hope. Let the voice of heaven be the sound that pulls you out of the shadows and into the warmth of God's everlasting love. Archangel Michael says, "The skies may thunder with urgency, and the sound may seem fierce to your ears, but it is not fury that moves heaven, it is love. A love so immense, so holy, and so unwilling to give up on you that it shakes the heavens awake just to reach you. You are not being threatened. You are being called. You are being pursued by the one who created your soul with care and set eternity in your heart. The sound that stirs your spirit now is not to punish you, but to remind you that you were never meant to drift so far from the light. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. There is a heaviness that comes when the soul forgets its home. When the heart becomes tired of running and the silence inside begins to echo, even your own voice feels distant. You wonder if God still hears you, if He still cares, if the pain has made you unrecognizable to the one who formed you. But the truth is, God has never stopped recognizing you. Even now, He sees you fully. Not just the version of you that smiles in public, but the one who cries quietly, who battles thoughts you don't tell anyone about, who wonders if you're strong enough to keep going. He sees you. And He is not disappointed. He is moved. He draws near. Jesus, the Lamb of God, the one who walked this world and felt the sting of rejection, the weight of sorrow, the pull of loneliness, He has not forgotten what it feels like to be human. He knows what you carry. He knows the secrets you hold. And He is not repelled by your mess. He is not waiting for you to be clean. He is waiting for you to let Him in. Type Amen if you believe God is your strength, and share this powerful video with 5 faithful souls to receive blessings and miracles. You may think you need to repair everything before you can face God again. But that is the voice of shame, not the voice of your Father. Jesus never said, "Come to me when you're better." He said, "Come to me, all who are weary." And you are weary. You've been trying to carry things that were never yours to hold alone. You've been trying to heal yourself while the wounds are still bleeding. You've been trying to be strong in places where it's okay to be weak. And in all that trying, you've grown tired. But now is not the time to give up. Now is not the time to close your heart. This is the moment where God, through the voice of His messenger, speaks louder, not to scare you, but to break through the noise of the world, to tear down the lies that have kept you afraid, and to tell you that you are still His. Still cherished. Still welcome. Type 2323 if you trust in God. The road home has always been open. It is not paved with guilt, but with grace. Not guarded by fear, but by mercy. Archangel Michael does not flash warnings to harm you. He comes bearing light to show you the way back, because your soul has wandered into shadows that were never made for you. And heaven cannot stay silent while you suffer. This is not rejection. This is a rescue. You were created to walk in peace. You were designed for joy. You were made for relationship with your Creator, not one built on fear, but on trust, tenderness, and truth. God has never once turned His heart from you. Not when you failed. Not when you doubted. Not when you said nothing at all. His love has stayed, like a fire that never burns out, no matter how dark the night becomes. And now, it reaches for you again. There is healing waiting, not just physical, but deep healing. Healing for the wounds that have lived inside you for so long that you forgot what it feels like to be free. Healing for the guilt that creeps in when you're quiet. Healing for the shame that lingers in your thoughts. Jesus did not come to manage your pain. He came to remove it. He did not come to offer you temporary relief. He came to give you eternal life. You may have felt ignored, but God has heard every silent prayer. You may have felt abandoned, but He has held you in every moment. And even now, with everything you think disqualifies you, He still says, "You are mine." Let these words reach the part of you that has gone numb. Let them melt the cold places in your heart that fear disappointment. Let them soften you, not into weakness, but into the strength that comes from being known and loved completely. The voice of heaven calls not because time is running out, but because eternity is waiting. There is still time. There is still room. There is still love. It has not passed you by. It is here. Right now. And all you have to do is whisper, not even shout, just whisper, and the Father will run to you with joy, with arms wide open. This is not about fear. This is about love so loud it won't let you slip away unnoticed. You were always meant to live close to God. You were always meant to feel His presence like breath in your lungs, like light on your face. Come back now, not to rules or religion, but to the heart of the one who never left you. Let this be the day you begin again. Let this be the day your spirit rests in the truth: you are not lost. You are loved. And you are still being called home. Archangel Michael says, even before the sun touched your skin this morning, God had already been thinking of you. Not with anger. Not with frustration. But with a longing that runs deeper than oceans, with a tenderness that watches over you even when you forget He's near. The moments that pass in silence, the heavy hours when your heart feels distant, the nights when you wonder if you've gone too far to be found, God sees them all. And still, His voice calls your name through the stillness. You may hear the words echoing now with force, but the force is not rage, it's urgency, because your heart matters that much to heaven. Archangel Michael's voice may tremble through your thoughts like lightning through the clouds, but it is never sent to condemn. It is sent to awaken. It is sent to break through the numbness, to remind you that heaven has not grown quiet because you failed, but has waited patiently for the moment your heart would stir again. Type 555 to receive miracles. The enemy would love nothing more than to make you believe that you are alone, unloved, forgotten, or beyond help. He whispers lies that wrap themselves around your spirit like chains, convincing you that your past defines you and that your mistakes are too many to count. But that voice is not from God. The truth is, God knew every flaw, every fall, every detour you would take long before you made a single choice, and still He called you His. You were never meant to walk this life in fear or shame. Jesus did not come to expose your wounds to the world. He came to heal them. He came to place His hands over the places you've tried to hide, and with a love so holy it silences all fear, He speaks peace into the storm that lives inside you. Not just once. Not just when you get it right. Every single day. Your value was never found in what you've done, but in who made you. You are not defined by the things that went wrong. You are defined by the one who laid down His life so you could live. He chose the cross not because He had to, but because you are worth saving. You are worth redeeming. You are worth loving, not just on your best days, but in your weakest, most broken ones too. There is a war being fought around you, and it's not for your comfort, but for your soul. This is why the voice of heaven has come louder now. This is why the message burns brighter in your heart. It is not to frighten you, it is to pull you back from the edge, to reach into the silence you've been living in, and to say, you are not forgotten. You are still wanted. God never writes anyone off. He does not abandon His children when they lose their way. He doesn't slam doors shut in frustration. He opens them wider. He steps into the places we think He would avoid. He kneels beside us in the dust, in the mess, in the dark, and He lifts us. Not with shame, but with grace. Not with punishment, but with promise. And even now, as you read these words, His Spirit is drawing near, softening the hurt, unraveling the lies, and pouring out peace. You were created for connection with Him, for a life that isn't just about surviving, but about walking in the kind of love that quiets storms and heals old wounds. That life still waits for you. It hasn't passed you by. It's not too late to return. It's not too late to be made whole again. Every step you take toward God is met with 1,000 steps from Him toward you. There is no fear in His love. There is no shadow He cannot light. There is no damage too deep for Him to repair. The same God who split seas, who walked through fire, who conquered death itself, He is with you now. Not watching from a distance, but close enough to catch every tear, close enough to whisper, "You are mine, and I will never let you go." What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn, let this moment be sacred. Let it be the beginning of your return, not just to God, but to yourself, to the truth of who you are, who you've always been beneath the pain and pressure and fear. You were made to love and be loved. You were made for joy. You were made to walk closely with the one who knows you better than anyone ever could. Type yes to affirm. So if your heart feels heavy, let it rest in this truth: you are not being punished. You are being pursued. Not by wrath, but by a Savior who will not stop until your soul is safe in His arms. You are not in trouble. You are being called home. And home is still waiting with open doors, with a warm light, and with the gentle voice of Jesus saying, "Come back. I've missed you." Archangel Michael says, "You have not ruined your chance. You have not run too far. No matter how much time has passed, or how many times you've walked the long road away from God, His heart still beats for you with the same deep and endless love as it did the day you were born. Nothing has changed that. Not your silence. Not your doubts. Not even the days when you stopped believing that someone like you could ever be wanted again by someone as holy as Him. But you are wanted. Not just as an idea or a name on a list, but in a deeply personal, soul-to-soul kind of way. God wants your presence, your voice, your story, your heart, just as it is, right now. The light of Jesus was never reserved for the clean and polished. It was meant for the weary, the confused, the ones who've been running with aching feet and breaking hearts. He came to meet you right in that place, not when you're ready, but because He knows you're tired of waiting for life to finally make sense. He doesn't expect you to have it all together. He never did. His arms have always been open wide, not to catch you in judgment, but to hold you in compassion. Archangel Michael's cry is not a punishment. It is a plea from a heaven that refuses to stay quiet while you stand at the edge of despair. It is a reminder that you're still deeply loved, that you still matter to the kingdom of God, and that nothing in your life has disqualified you from that love. You may have fallen. You may have felt forgotten. But every fall can be followed by a rising, and you have never been forgotten for a single second. In the stillness, God heard every unspoken word, every whisper of regret, every silent hope that maybe, just maybe, there was still a way back. And He kept the way open. He never shut the door. Not even once. Jesus didn't come to rescue the perfect. He came for the broken, the lost, the uncertain, the ones who've been trying to find peace in all the wrong places. He doesn't wait for you to clean yourself up. He wants to meet you in the middle of the mess, to sit beside you in it, and to show you that His love isn't scared of your darkness. It moves straight into it, unafraid, and shines until it fades away. This is not a story about wrath. This is a story about rescue. You were not created to carry the weight of the world alone. You were never meant to be hardened by life or buried by pain. God made you to feel, to live fully, to walk in peace, not just occasionally, but always. And if you've forgotten what that feels like, He wants to remind you. He wants to rebuild what life has broken. Not just repair you, but make you new. And He can. That's what His grace is for. Archangel Michael speaks with power not to frighten, but to awaken. The sound is strong because the love is strong. You are not being called out. You are being called back. Back to your place in the arms of a Father who never stopped waiting. Back to the truth that you are more than your failures. You are more than your worst day. You are more than what the world says about you. Type 777 if you walk by faith. There is no shame in needing grace. There is no failure that makes you unworthy of God's mercy. And there is no time limit on His invitation to come home. So let yourself feel it. Let your guard down. Let your soul breathe for a moment without trying to be strong. You've been carrying enough. You've been fighting hard. You've been trying to earn what was always meant to be freely given. You don't need to strive anymore. You just need to say yes. Yes to being loved again. Yes to letting go of the shame. Yes to being held by the only one who can carry your heart the way it was meant to be carried. The past cannot be changed, but it can be redeemed. The wounds you carry don't have to define your future. God is not done writing your story. There is more. So much more. And the next chapter can begin right here, in this quiet moment, where heaven reaches down to remind you that you still belong. Let this be the moment you stop running. Let this be the moment you return, not to guilt or fear, but to love. Real love. Unshakable love. The kind that never lets go. The kind that calls you by name and never grows tired of waiting. Archangel Michael says, there is something sacred about the quiet moments, the ones where your heart is tired of pretending, where your soul doesn't want noise or distraction, but simply longs to be held. You might not say it out loud, but deep down, you know the ache. The ache of feeling far from where you once were, far from the light, far from that place of peace that used to feel like home. And it's in those silent, aching places that heaven leans closest. Not to shame you, but to gather you in. You've been walking through shadows, maybe for days, maybe for years, and the weight of it has worn you down. You've tried to keep going, tried to hold things together, tried to appear strong when all you really wanted was rest. But God never asked you to carry all of this on your own. He didn't create you to survive by your own strength. He created you to walk with Him, side by side, heart to heart, every step guided by love and not fear. This is why Archangel Michael's voice sounds so loud in this moment. Not because you've been forgotten, but because you've been so deeply remembered. Because the time has come to return. Not with trembling hands, but with the trust of someone who is dearly loved and forever welcomed. This isn't about punishment. It's about restoration. It's about bringing you back to the place where your heart can breathe again. When Jesus walked the earth, He didn't rush past the broken-hearted. He stopped. He listened. He knelt beside them, not once asking if they deserved His presence. He knew their stories. He knew their shame. And still, He touched them. He healed them. He loved them, not in spite of their pain, but in the very middle of it. That same Jesus is alive now. That same Jesus sees you now. You haven't disappointed Him beyond repair. You haven't wandered too far. You haven't outsinned His grace. His love isn't like the love you've seen in this world. It doesn't fade, it doesn't hold grudges, and it doesn't keep score. You could fall 1,000 times and still find Him reaching for you. Not out of obligation, but because He longs to hold you again. Because your soul is precious to Him. Because you are His. Type 333 to welcome blessings. The battle you're facing isn't just emotional or physical, it's spiritual. It's the weight of all the lies that have tried to bury the truth of who you are. The lie that says you're not good enough. The lie that says you've failed too many times. The lie that says God has given up on you. Archangel Michael doesn't come with soft words now because those lies are loud, and they've been winning. But heaven doesn't back down when a child of God is hurting. Heaven fights. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. You don't have to keep running. You don't have to keep hiding behind the mask. There is something braver, something more beautiful, in simply saying, I need God. That is not weakness. That is where healing begins. That is where chains start to break. That is where peace begins to take root again, not as a feeling, but as a promise. You were not created to live in fear. You were not meant to carry regret like a burden strapped to your back. The forgiveness of Jesus is not fragile. It doesn't run out. It doesn't hesitate. It pours out freely, abundantly, the moment you open your heart again, even just a little. Even just enough to whisper His name. Let yourself believe that it's not too late. Let yourself believe that the one who made you still sees beauty in you, even when all you see is mess. He is not disgusted by your past. He is not angry about the time you've spent away. He is only concerned with this moment now, this sacred chance to come back into the arms that have always been open. So take a breath. Let the fear fall away. Let the love of God fill the empty places. Let Jesus be more than a name. Let Him be your rest, your rescue, your Redeemer. And know, without question, that you are not being pushed away. You are being drawn in. There is no distance too great for His grace to cover. No sin too strong for His mercy to wash clean. You are still His beloved. You are still welcome at the table. The past may echo, but it cannot control you. The future may be uncertain, but it is held by a faithful God. And right now, you are exactly where you need to be to begin again. Archangel Michael says, there are times when the heart forgets how to hope, when the world feels so loud and cold that you begin to believe the silence of God means absence. But silence is not distance. Sometimes, it is a sacred stillness that gently waits for your soul to settle long enough to hear the whisper of love again. You've been carrying more than you were ever meant to carry, trying to stay strong while quietly unraveling inside. But you are not alone, and you were never expected to carry it all without help. God sees through the surface of your life, past the words you say, past the smile you wear for others, straight into the quiet, unspoken ache that you live with. He does not look at you with disappointment. He looks with compassion. The kind of compassion that doesn't flinch at your mess, that doesn't recoil from your struggle, but leans in closer, more tender, more patient than any human heart could ever be. His love isn't afraid of what you've done, or where you've been. It stays. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. Archangel Michael's voice breaks into your life now with weight and power, not to alarm you, but because something in your spirit has grown tired, and heaven cannot let you fade away quietly. The urgency you feel is the voice of a God who still believes in you, still sees worth in you, and still wants to see you walk in freedom, not bondage. This is not a rebuke, it's a lifeline. A holy interruption in a world that too often drowns out the things that matter most. You may feel distant from who you once were. You may barely recognize the reflection in your soul. But God has not forgotten the beauty He placed inside you. He has not erased the plans He wrote for your life. Every breath you take is a sign that your story isn't finished. You are not beyond His reach. Not now. Not ever. The grace of Jesus was never meant to be accessed through perfection. It was given for the broken, the weary, the ones who barely make it through the day and wonder if God even notices. And yes, He notices. He has never stopped noticing. His eyes haven't left you. His spirit hasn't withdrawn. He waits, not with crossed arms, but with open ones. What if everything you've been chasing, wealth, freedom, success, could be drawn to you automatically, simply by unlocking a secret brain wave hidden inside you? Once classified by intelligence agencies, this discovery is now available to the public, and it's changing lives instantly. Picture yourself debt-free, stress-free, and thriving. The window is open, but not forever, and every second you wait is wealth slipping from your hands, so grasp it now. Click the link in video description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency and watch abundance flow into your life today. There is healing in His presence. Deep, lasting, soul-level healing that touches places in you that no human words can reach. He doesn't just want to give you comfort for a moment. He wants to rebuild you from the inside out. Not into something artificial, but into the person you truly are, beneath the fear, beneath the shame, beneath the pain. You are still a child of light, even if you've been walking through the dark. And no, this isn't about pretending you have it all together. This is about letting yourself be real enough to admit you need Him. That's all it takes. One honest moment. One open heart. That's what moves heaven. That's what releases the floodgates of mercy, peace, and healing. Not effort. Not perfection. Just surrender. Archangel Michael calls to you now because the time is sacred. Because heaven is near. Because there is a battle for your peace, your purpose, your hope. And the one who created you refuses to let you be swallowed by despair or crushed by the weight of this life. You were made for more than pain. You were made for more than fear. You were made for love, a real, eternal, unshakable love. You may think you have to fix yourself first. But the truth is, Jesus is the one who does the fixing. All He asks is that you come. That you bring the mess, the doubts, the regrets. That you let Him take what was never yours to hold. He is not overwhelmed by your story. He is not put off by your questions. He simply wants your heart. There is nothing you have done that can cancel his invitation. There is no part of you too damaged for his touch. The healing he brings doesn't come through guilt. It comes through grace. The kind of grace that wipes the slate clean. The kind that speaks to you with kindness when all you've known is harshness. The kind that meets you right where you are and doesn't ask you to pretend. Let the voice of heaven remind you of who you are, not what the world has told you, not what shame has whispered, but what your Creator has always known. You are beloved. You are worth saving. You are worth fighting for. And you are being called home. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. Archangel Michael says, there is something deeply beautiful about the way God waits, not with impatience, not with anger building in the silence, but with steady love that holds its breath for your return. Even when you turned away, even when the pain hardened your heart, even when you convinced yourself you didn't deserve to be loved anymore, he never looked away. He watched every step, every tear, every long night you thought you faced alone. And now, as you feel these words stirring something inside you, it is not a warning, it is an invitation. You don't have to be ashamed of where you are. You don't have to hide your questions or your exhaustion. God is not put off by your confusion or the heaviness you carry in your chest. He is near. So near, in fact, that even now, you may feel the quiet warmth of His presence, that gentle weight pressing on your heart, reminding you that it's okay to come home. Not after you've sorted everything out. Now. Just as you are. Archangel Michael does not come shouting destruction over your life. He comes holding a fierce and holy reminder, your soul is still worth fighting for. He stands not as a threat but as a protector, one who has watched the battles rage over your spirit and now speaks to wake you up, not because you've failed, but because you've forgotten how loved you still are. And nothing breaks the heart of heaven more than a child who believes they've been abandoned. The truth is, you've never been abandoned. Even when you wandered into places that made you feel forgotten. Even when you chose silence over prayer, or doubt over faith. Even when you said, I can't do this anymore, and let yourself sink into shadows. God didn't walk away. He stayed right beside you. He listened when you thought no one was listening. He caught the tears you didn't let fall in front of others. He waited, not to judge you, but to hold you. You may have learned to live with the ache. You may have buried your hope beneath years of trying to be strong. But you were never created to walk through this life without grace. You were never meant to numb yourself just to make it through the day. The pain that's been sitting in your chest for so long, it's not part of who you are. It's the result of living away from the love you were created for. Jesus did not come to offer a religion. He came to offer Himself. His presence. His love. His healing. He doesn't ask you to earn His attention. He already gave you His life. He doesn't wait for you to say the perfect words. He understands the cries of a broken heart. And even now, if all you can say is, help me, that is enough for heaven to move.